Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Transformers Friday from the Toybox edition. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Earth Mode Ratchet from the Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Amazon exclusive Galactic Odyssey Paradron Medics 2-pack. Let's get into it! Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories. And first up, let's take a look at the handy dandy instruction manual. Generations Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Transformers Galactic Odyssey Collection Paradron Medics. And here's Ratchet. And here is his helper. I cannot remember her name. But rest assured, I probably will not review this figure because I hate transforming that RC mold. Although I will say the colors on this one are much better than RC. So on the instructions on this side, you've got the instructions for transforming Ratchet. They're clearly illustrated and nicely so, with a little bit of shading on the parts that you have to manipulate. And then here on the other side, you can see, although it's upside down, how you transform the other medic. So that's the instructions. Next up are handy dandy tweezers and his, I guess on him it would be a laser scalpel rather than a laser pistol. But here it is, solid white, probably molded, no paint apps. Molded in white, that is. Bits of waffling going on, but has some decent details in it. So let's take a look. Oops, I bumped the camera out of place because it's a Digital Caveman Presents review. So let's take a look at the figure in his alt mode finally. He's got this nice red stripe on both sides. He's got the Siege tires, still futuristic looking, don't really match this mold or this visual, which is an Earth vehicle. So, you know, this really doesn't match. Obvious issues with it, and, you know, you're looking right at them. So that's something they really should have changed on this mold, or this retool. They should have retooled the feet as well. The sirens are up here. They can be removed. I'm not going to remove them because I don't like to. Nice Autobot tampo there on the top. And then this piece is probably molded in black and then some white paint apps there. Or it could be white and painted black. I don't know. I'm not sure. And you can see the whites don't quite match up in some spots, so you can tell what's molded in color and what is painted. Then on the underside, cleans up pretty well. Not really a whole lot of robot beeps and boops sticking out at you. And then in vehicle mode, if you want to store his tool up there, you can do so. And there you have it, my friends, a look at the figure in his alt mode. It's time for alt mode comparisons. And here we have the Amazon exclusive Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Galactic Odyssey Collection Paradron Medics Deluxe Class Ratchet with the Walgreens exclusive Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Deluxe Class Ratchet and the Transformers Studio Series 86 Voyager class Ratchet. For our last set of alt mode comparisons, here we have the Amazon exclusive Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Galactic Odyssey Collection Paradron Medics Deluxe class Ratchet with the Transformers Titans Returns Legends class Bumblebee and the Amazon exclusive Transformers Generation Selects War for Cybertron Trilogy Earthrise Leader Class Alternate Universe Optimus Prime. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the comedy portion of our program where I attempt to transform this Transformer. So first thing I like to do is to remove that. Then you want to open the windshield and flip the side windows out. Now once you have that done, you can kind of gently pry this piece apart, and we'll get back to that one later. So untab this part and it tabs in right here to that open slot, and there's the tab right there. And when you close these down, there's a tab right here and a slot right here, and it's supposed to stick right in there. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So you can do that. You can choose to do that or not. You can leave them up and separate these parts, and then separate the legs. And then once you do that, you can lift the arms up slightly, move the legs down out of the way just a little bit, open the bumper. Then there's a big mushroom peg in here, in which this part spins around. Once you have that done, you can separate the arms. Tab here, slot here. Move that bumper piece back up. On the flat part here where the head is connected, there's a tab right here and a slot here. Just put those together, mash all that in place real good. Then you can close the windscreen back up. And then once the legs are separated, you just close these panels down around the legs. Turn the arms so you can put them down by side. And there is the robot mode all transformed. So this piece you can do a couple of different ways. You can flip the windows all the way out, and it can be a battle platform or weapon storage, you know, whatever you want to do with it. Put this part out and it transforms into a hoverboard of some kind, but I think you have to flip these in for that mode, and flip these in as well. So there you have it. He's got a hoverboard, so he can Marty McFly it around the arc, or it can be a shield by sticking in his arm like so. And there you have it, my friends. A look at the figure and his accessories in his robot mode. Wrong. That's completely wrong, because that was how you transform this guy. So there's a look at his transformation, and now you know why I call it the comedy portion. Let's take a look at the figure in his robot mode. And he's got some nice blue paint apps there for his eyes, and a nice silver one for his face. And then you've got, you know, paint app, kind of a gunmetal-y paint app right here, some red here and here, and then everything else we pretty much talked about in the alt mode. As far as his articulation goes, he doesn't really look up, he can look down that far. No chicken neck, and he's got some waggle. He can do the full exorcist. At the shoulder, he can raise his arm up that high, so well past 90. 360 degrees worth of rotation there at the shoulder. Cut here at the upper bicep on a mushroom peg. See it right there? That gives you another 360 degree rotation. Single hinge at the elbow, which gives you slightly better than 90 degrees. 360 degrees of rotation at the wrist. Another 360 degrees of rotation at the waist. And at the hips, let's see. Woo, he got the splits plus. He can, sorry, I bumped the camera. Kick forward that far, so that's pretty well past 90. And then back a little bit past 90, so not bad at all. Mushroom peg here in the upper thigh for another 360 degree rotation. Single hinge at the knee gives you slightly better than 90 degrees of bend. And no tilt at the ankle, but he does have slightly better than 90 degrees worth of rocker. Now, as far as storage of the accessories go, as I stated before, you can put this on his arm as a shield, but if he's not using it for that, or Marty McFlying it around the arc, it can also post into his back like that, and his laser scalpel can either port in there, or you can hold it in his hand. It can also port in on either side of his arm. So there you have it, my friends. Now, that's a look at the figure and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a Transformers review, Robot Mode Comparisons. And here we have the Amazon exclusive Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Galactic Odyssey Collection Paradron Medics Deluxe Class Ratchet, with the Walgreens exclusive Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Siege Ratchet, and the Transformers Studio Series 86 Voyager Class Ratchet. For our last set of robot mode comparisons, here we have the Amazon exclusive Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Galactic Odyssey Collection Paradron Medics Deluxe Class Ratchet, with the Transformers Titans Returns Legends Class Bumblebee, and the Walmart exclusive Netflix Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Earthrise Leader Class Optimus Prime. For final thoughts on the Amazon exclusive Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Galactic Odyssey Collection Paradron Medics 2-pack Deluxe Class Ratchet, or at least Ratchet from that 2-pack, I have to say, you know, they took that Siege mold and retooled parts of it, and just like Ironhide, they didn't fix the feet. And I'm not saying this is a bad version of Ratchet, but it would have been a much, much better Ratchet had they fixed the feet, retooled the feet, or put a cover over the bottom of them to look like the back of the van, or, you know, something other than what they did, which was nothing. Another thing that kind of bothers me about Ratchet in the War for Cybertron line is both Ratchets were exclusive to somewhere. It wasn't something widely available. Unlike the Siege Ironhide, who was widely available, this one, like the Earth mode Ironhide, you know, both Amazon exclusives. And, you know, that set was hard to find. This set was kind of hard to find. You know, around that time, a lot of stuff was hard to find because we were going into that that 2020 thing that happened, and you know, things got hard to find. And you know, again, this one hits all the Ratchet beats. You know, the color, the red pops of color, you know, the overall white color, the red pops of color, and, you know, windshield for the chest, and, you know, his head sculpt, and the fact that he was an ambulance. He did have sirens on the top, or lights on the top for that. The weapon or tool, whatever you want to call it, that he comes with, I'm not super enamored of that. So when this one replaced the Siege one in my display, the accessories from Siege got moved over to this Ironhide, and then on from him to the Studio Series Ironhide, not Ironhide, Ratchet, my bad. I don't know what I'm talking about over here. So, I guess that's what I get for trying to freeform it. The other kind of big issue with this one are the wheels, which, again, they did not upgrade from the Siege, or retool from the Siege Ironhide mold. And for, you know, for Ironhide and Ratchet, the Siege versions, to have the wheels that are on this one, you know, it wasn't so bad. It kind of made sense. You know, it was an alien version of a van, or an ambulance in this case. So, you know, it wasn't that bad. But, you know, not to do a more Earth type wheel with this version was kind of a letdown. As far as the articulation, the range of movement and stuff, it's really good. I don't have any issues with it. I like the shield piece, or, you know, it's hanging on his back right now, but it becomes the top of the van, and I like that because it's kind of a throwback to the original figures. You know, they were on treads, I guess. They weren't legged Autobots, and they just kind of rolled around, the toys versions, that is. And you know, it was kind of a sled piece that the robot part extended up from. And, you know, that piece is kind of a throwback to that. It can be used as a hoverboard, I guess, or, you know, tool storage or what have you. It can also be used as a weapon or a shield. So there is that. It's multi-function, and it has a nice big Autobot tampo on it as well. So, well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I am now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.